Hey fellas, how you guys doing? Mowers and blowers here again. Today I'm going to be working on this gas bushwhacker. It's a hedge trimmer. I've always wanted one of these things because I had one of those electric ones, and honestly, man, those cords really, get in the way. I've actually seared them a few times. So I always wanted a gas one. Dude wanted like $50 for this. I said, does it run? He goes, no, it doesn't run. I says, then why do you want $50 for it? They cost like 80, brand new. So I said, I'll give you $10 for it. He goes, okay. So when I brought it home, I put some gas in it and tried to start it up. Primer bulb has a leak, right? And the minute I just tried to pull it, these hoses came off. Then I touched the hoses and they were all cracked and brittle. Filters inside. Everything looks like it's here, Pull start does pull without any, apparent problems. Blades and the teeth, they all look like they're there. Can't really tell what brand this damn thing is. It just says Bushwacker. Anyway, so I'm going to tear this apart and put some new hoses in and put a primer bulb in there. Since I'm there, I might as well just take off the diaphragm and see if the carb's clean. So the first thing I did was put on some janky clothes. Some clothes that you ain't gonna mess up. I have a habit of wearing nice clothes when I work on stuff, and then my wife yells at me and goes, "Look at these clothes." Anyway, I found out this is a Craftsman. The label is faded, so I couldn't see until I read the label. It says Sears Roebuck with the code 358 point whatever. It's made in 2002 is what I could see. That's not too old. I mean, it's old, but it's not that old. Anyway, we'll take the air cover off. It's just that Phillips screw right there for the cover. Really clean. That filter's like clean. Couple of hex bolts. I hate hex bolts. Remove the bolts, and this air cleaner base just comes right off. Looks like a wall bro. There we go. And there's a Z-bend there. And there it is. These carburetors are cheap. You can get Chinese copies on eBay for $8 to $10, $8 to $12. But this one looks okay. Just got to change that primer bulb and clean out the inside, I'm sure. Gonna take those two screws off and see if I have an extra bulb that size. And I do have a brand new bulb, just like it. I buy a lot of them in bulk from China. They're super cheap when you buy them in bulk. I think I got like 20 of these for like $3. Took a month to get here. If you're not working on it, right away, just wait. I also have primer bulbs for snow blowers, air filters, and all that. Very cheap if you buy them 5 or 10 times, So I just took the gasket off of this top part where the bulb is. You can see right there some gummed up stuff. I don't know if that area actually affects anything, but gives you an idea about what you could be in store for. So I cleaned this up. Before you couldn't blow any air through here to come out of there. And so I had to take a needle and go in there. It was pretty gummed up. So now I blow carburetor fluid in here. It flies out there. So this is clean. So I've got that primer bulb now fixed, and this top part here all cleaned up and breathes nicely. So now I'm going to take that off, and that's the metering diaphragm. This is also a Zama, not a Walbro. Surprisingly, it's clean. Removal of the metering diaphragm shows sawdust gathered in that area there. Not a big deal. I'm going to blow out those holes. So this carburetor is now clean. It wasn't tough at all. I did it pretty carefully too. I usually try to rush through it, but today I took my time and I feel pretty good about it. Problem is now the hard part is fuel lines. Fuel lines are always a pain. And it looks like the way this is made, I have to take this part off here just to get access to the lines. Just put the carb back on just for a second, you know, temporarily. I'm not tightening these things up. Just want to make sure where the lines are. So looks like the thick one is on top and the thinner one is on that one. Removal of 2 hex bolts here. That it. No, looks like I have to get that one. Alright, you got to be careful because it looks like this thing's all spring loaded somewhere, so I don't want to take this stuff off and then not know how to put it back together again. Oh, there's another one. Jeez. It's good that I'm recording it, right? This assembly, I'm holding it so it doesn't fall out. Take a picture of that. And there you have it. There are the gas lines. Didn't want to screw things up, so I put a rubber band around it. Oh great, now that just fell out. I don't know how that went. So you cut the end of this so it's nice and sharp at an angle. And then once you get it through the hole, you use some of these long needle nose pliers, pull it out. Once you get it out, you cut this perpendicularly, and then you're able to put the fuel filter on. So I just routed the thin wire onto there, and I'm going to do the thick one into there. Routed the thick one the same way, nice and sharp, right? Now we just cut it again, and then we put this return nipple back on. Now the return nipple is back on. I'm going to pull this back up so it's about there. So now it looks like that. One on the left is the nipple where the fuel returns back from the carburetor, and then the other line is attached to the fuel filter. And that's what sucks the fuel into the carburetor. So that was easy enough. I put everything back together again, and I poured the fuel out just so I could work. Just pour the fuel back in there. Put the cap back on, and I won't put the that stuff on until I figure out if the lines are right. I always screw up the lines. I'm going to give it a couple pulls and see. Runs and idles. I actually got the hoses right. That was fun. First time I ever worked on a, hedge trimmer. Anyway, like I said, got it for $10. Now I got a hedge trimmer. I don't really need it right now. But anyway, that's how you clean a carb and redo your fuel lines on a hedge trimmer. See you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers.